What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about a dinosaur from Jurassic World Dominion that I think was actually utilized really well, but unfortunately didn't get a lot of screen time. Over the course of the Jurassic World trilogy, there have been a handful of dinosaurs that I've found to be interesting, with the Carnotaurus actually becoming my third favorite design out of the entire Jurassic Park series. I really think that's a cool looking creature, but most of them in the Jurassic World movies kind of left me underwhelmed in comparison to the animals I'd grown up with in Jurassic Park, which, to be fair, were always extremely iconic when it came to special effects design, so it is a hard bar to live up to. But Therizinosaurus is an animal that kind of transcends a lot of that stuff for me, and there's a lot of cool reasons for that. Now, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and say that you guys know I'm not a big fan of Jurassic World Dominion, but the scene where the Therizinosaurus shows up and Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire Deering characters hanging in the branches and the deer is there and everything, that is an incredibly well done Jurassic Park scene. And if the whole movie had been tonally like that, I think I would have really enjoyed it way more. Probably one of the most important reasons that I think the Therizinosaurus scene went down so well with me and other fans of the franchise, though, is the fact that it was actually kind of scary. In fact, Bryce Dallas Howard's acting in that scene, I really think is kind of sincere and genuine when she's just watching it walk up beside her. And again, visually, the creature looks incredibly cool. It's the tone, though, that I think is the most important thing here. Therizinosaurus is introduced as an alien genetic creature, but it's still an animal. It's still grounded. This is how you do Jurassic Park, and this is how I wish the whole movie played out, because no joke, this was kind of a terrifying scene to put yourself in if you were this person hanging in the branch of a tree or just watching this creature kill an animal that was just minding its own business just because it was spooked and could. I think everything going on here is some of the best stuff in Jurassic World Dominion, and it's a real shame that it wasn't utilized further, because just imagine what they could do in a future movie with the Therizinosaurus in an Isla Sorna-esque environment like this, or even a laboratory like what Regina had to run from in Dino Crisis. You could really, really have fun here with a lot of cool stuff that the Therizinosaurus has on display. Not just the claws, the more docile behavior in regards to, specific carnivores, the way it looks, the cataracts in the eyes. Maybe you could run away from it if you're really far away, but the closer you get, the more it's like, okay, it might be able to see us like a rhinoceros in charge. It's scary, and it's something that I think makes for genuinely good Jurassic Park entertainment that I wish we would see way more of in the future. The only thing that I really know of that's utilized the Therizinosaurus in modern day dinosaur depictions that's actually been popular, I'm sure it's popped up in a lot of different places, but Ark Survival Evolved is probably the one that I think comes to a lot of people's mind. That was before Dominion, but Therizinosaurus have been talked about for years and years, and just to see it, actually show up in a Jurassic Park movie and kind of distinguish itself from the Ark Survival Evolved version is pretty cool. In the fossil record, we actually don't know much about the Therizinosaurus at all. We've got very little paleontological information on the creature, but we do expect it to be herbivorous, and I know that there's even some speculation on the fact that its claws may not have even have been useful for defense, although I know that that's kind of up in the air at this given point in time. It's something that I think was done really well in the movie, though, and again, the feathery material all around its body and the fact that it was shown to be just kind of an aggressive herbivore is really cool stuff to set it apart from other Jurassic Park creatures we'd seen before in the past. When I was growing up, Nothronicus and When Dinosaurs Roamed America was probably the biggest Therizinosaur depiction that we ever had at the time, and it wasn't even an actual Therizinosaurus. And this dinosaur is actually shown fighting some dromaeosaurids in the documentary with those large claws, as well as kind of using them in its natural environment to just do some stuff. They called it a very big turkey kind of creature. I thought that its utilization in this Jurassic movie was awesome, and I know it was 20 some odd years after that documentary took place, but again, this is one of the weirdest looking creatures ever, and the fact that Jurassic Park was able to put one of those strange ones back into the franchise was cool, because we haven't really seen something like that since Dilophosaurus, or I don't know, Compsognathus, because that was a little itty bitty one that we hadn't really gotten much exposure on from other movies and stuff. So it's cool to see creatures like that get utilized again. The reason the Therizinosaurus is a new dinosaur that I think works really well, and I've seen a lot of people actually really like this animal, is because it's a creature that has some rules set up around it, which is something that old Jurassic Park dinosaurs used to be very, very serious with. Like T-Rex, can't see you if you don't move. Velociraptor, very, very smart, knows how to open doors. Triceratops, in the books, they wouldn't charge the Jeep Wranglers because they had a red stripe on them. Other stuff like Compsognathus having a toxic bite, Dilophosaurus being able to spit venom. These were cool attributes given to the dinosaurs that go an extremely long way. But what was really cool about Therizinosaurus is that it was one of the only dinosaurs that we've seen in a long time to actually have something like that introduced. Immediately when it's introduced on the screen, we see that it's got some sort of cataracts or really, really milky looking eyes that mean that it's probably really blind. I've always compared it to something like a rhinoceros. It has a really hard time seeing people, but it's still a very dangerous dinosaur when you spook it or get really close to it or something. It's also not a carnivore. It's a giant, well-equipped Freddy Krueger herbivore that it was very, very cool in the movie. I even like the design of the animal in general. They added more feathers, the beak and kind of like really long, sharp claws that come off of the creature's hands it's visually interesting. The environment it lives in is very cool. Even the way it eats foliage or berries or whatever, I really love that scene. I thought that this was one of the most interesting Jurassic World little set pieces in the entire franchise, which is why I was really let down that we didn't get to see more of it. Now, another reason this animal was really cool in my opinion was because the lore around it is so mysterious and kind of not set in stone that there's wiggle room to play with really diving in deep into what this could be, explained away as in the future. In Jurassic World, part of the Indominus Rex's genetic makeup is Therizinosaurus DNA, but they don't have a Therizinosaurus on display in the theme park. Is that because it's too dangerous, too hard to control? It's hard to really say, but we do know they've had the DNA around for an extremely long time. I guess Biosyn just got a hold of it after the events of Fallen Kingdom and cloned their, own animal. I just think this creature is extremely cool looking and extremely well utilized in this scene in particular. Now, I don't really like the fight at the end of the movie where it shows up and does battle with the Giga and teams up with the T-Rex. I just think, look man, that's way too much in my opinion. That was overkill before overkill was even on the table. But Therizinosaurus usage in the earlier scene is something that I not only want to commend, but I would love to see far more of. Again, I would like to actually see something new that could be even scarier, like what if the characters walked up on a male and female Therizinosaurus that were currently tending to their nest? You could even have like hatchling Therizinosaurs, and what do their claws look like? How do they kind of live? What are they fed by their parents? It's very interesting stuff, and I really like the idea of just a small scene of people being afraid of this giant slashy dinosaur that was designed and executed extremely well in the film. Again, I don't like Jurassic World Dominion that much compared to other Jurassic films, but this scene in particular, dude, I'm telling you, if you would stretch that out to a 2-hour movie and have all the other dinosaurs kind of be tonally represented like that scene, I probably would have loved it. Anyways, guys, what do you think about the Therizinosaurus? Do you think it should be utilized more in the future? And how do you think it was handled in Dominion in general? I would love to see it come back. I really thought it was a cool creature. Bryce Dallas Howard did a great job in that scene, and the visual effects and actual animal behavior was really, really cool. But those are all just my own thoughts on the subject matter. Whatever yours happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens and InGen executives, as well as all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. You've all helped my channel immensely, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of that support. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll all consider subscribing. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.